Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've been accused of cowardice, to say the least. Many people have said, Chamisa has stepped aside from politics. You have accused him of being corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. He stepped aside, so why haven't you taken up and filled the void and bring about the democratic changes that the nation has been dying for? It is a logical question, and I've tried to answer it on a number of occasions, but I'll try to answer it again today. There are two fundamental realities that we've got to accept here. The number one reality, which I must emphasize, most people have failed to understand, is that Chamisa is indeed corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. Some of the people who have accused me of hating Chamisa, I think it's because they have failed to appreciate that point. The other reality that is just as important is that Chamisa's incompetence is not something new. It's not something that we have only learned now. Chamisa has been incompetent, corrupt, a liar, and a conman for years. Where is the evidence of that? Well, people have got to accept that the opposition, the people have risked everything to elect the MDC, Triple C opposition leaders for one specific task, that they will implement the democratic changes necessary to end the Zanu PF dictatorship. That should never be in question. If you accept that, then you will understand that the main purpose of the MDC, of the GNU of 2008 to 2013 was to implement the democratic changes. Yet, Morgan Tsvangirai and company, including Chamisa himself, who was a senior member of the MDC at the time of the GNU, they failed to implement even one token reform. If that doesn't prove incompetence, I don't know what does. Chamisa lied to the people of Zimbabwe in 2018 elections. That MDC alliance had stringent measures to stop the Zanu PF rigging the elections. People believed the lie. They participated in those flawed elections. because they believed the lie. So the number one issue there is that, yes, here is the evidence that Chamisa is a liar. So by the 2023 elections, people should have known that Chamisa is corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. So if they should have known that, and they had known that, they would not have been so easily conned again in 2023. And yet they were. Itself proof of the reality that we have got 2 million people plus out there who are easily conned because they're ignorant, naive, and gullible. That is the second reality. So Chamisa stepping aside in politics, yes, may have removed the other reality that we've got a corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman as a political leader. But it does not address the second reality, that we've got millions of people who are ignorant, naive, and gullible. So gullible, they will easily be conned to believe an idiotic lie like what Chamisa told them in 2023, that he's going to win the elections. That has not changed. The second reality has not changed. So to expect just because Chamisa has stepped aside, everything is going to be fine is, to say the least, naive. The second reality is actually the biggest challenge here. As long as we have got 2 million plus people who are ignorant, naive, gullible, they're easily conned, they'll believe anything they are told, we are in serious trouble. Like it or not, Zimbabwe is a failed state because we have got the great misfortune of having millions of very ignorant, naive, and gullible citizens. And to crown it all, they have the vote. Universal suffrage has been a curse to Zimbabwe. Make no mistake about that. It has been a curse to Zimbabwe. Particularly in other countries, universal suffrage has not had an ill effect. Notably South Africa, Botswana, and other countries, African countries. We've managed to hold free, fair, and credible elections, and things are working fairly well. In Zimbabwe, we had the misfortune of having both the ruling party and the opposition, who are now totally dependent on having an electorate that is ignorant, naive, and gullible. And they've been preying on that electorate for their own selfish ends. The ancient Greeks were right. Democracy as in a government of the people, by the people, for the people, only works if the said people are diligent in their secret duty of holding those in public office to account. The people must be diligent to hold those in public office to account. That is only possible if the people are educated, knowledgeable, objective, because only then can they be trusted to be diligent in carrying out their sacred duty. When you have got an electorate that is ignorant, naive, and gullible, and is given to holding leaders as demigods who can do no wrong because of their personality cult mentality, that is the very antithesis of the diligent citizen. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot have an ignorant, naive, and gullible individual who even holds the leader as a demigod who can do nothing wrong and expect to have a healthy and functioning democratic system. Impossible. Chamisa may have stepped aside, but the mentality of the citizens, of the people, the ordinary voters out there, has not changed. Somebody else can fill in that void, and they'll follow him or her. Indeed, in this particular case, Chamisa has already indicated that he is willing to come back. And many of the 2 million are itching to see him back. So those who expect there will be change just because Chamisa stepped down, went on a sabbatical, are naive, to say the very least. If we are serious about democratic change in Zimbabwe, they've got to realize that it is not only Chamisa who has got to step aside. It's the voters themselves who have got to radically change their thinking. Man is supposed to be a creature of reason. But when you find yourself in a situation where somebody lies to you, con you to do something that is idiotic, and you still refuse to accept that that person is a liar, you know you are in serious trouble. There is no denying that ordinary people, some of the 2 million plus who voted Chamisa in 2023, will vote him again come 2028. Because they still do not believe that he lied to them, that he conned them. To say he stepped aside grudgingly without accepting that he lied does not make any difference at all, because it only means he can come back another lie, and you will believe him again. Come 2028, here is Chamisa conning people again.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifoiri. Plan yaMwari haifoiri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
I can rest assure you, millions would believe him, participate in the 2028 elections, only to give Zanu PF legitimacy and perpetuate the dictatorship. You are not going to get democratic change just because Chamisa took a sabbatical. The only guarantee of a democratic Zimbabwe must come from the people themselves waking up to the reality that they must be educated, knowledgeable, and objective if they are going to carry out the secret duty of holding leaders to account. They, the people, must wake up to the reality that it is an outrage that anyone in this day and age would believe somebody like Chamisa to be a demigod. Chamisa is not a demigod. He is a mere mortal. And worst of all, one with a well-documented track record as corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. The people themselves must believe it and understand what that means. And as long as they remain ignorant, naive, and gullible, there will be no meaningful change in Zimbabwe. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.